originally priced at this bundle is $899.99 is what the value is overall if you were to get this today's special any other time. But today, because we are still having the today's special post sale, we are bringing you this value for another day, but this day only. After today, it will go back to that price of nearly $900. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the ability to stay plugged in, to stay charged up, to make sure that no matter what comes your way, you will always have the electricity powering your devices, keeping you incommunicado with everyone you need to, especially in times of emergency. Think about what you have in your home. Think about all the food that you don't want to go to waste if you were to lose power at any given time. We are all trying to save money. This is why something like the EcoFlow DELTA 3 is an essential. I say that every single time, but don't think of it, even though I just said it, don't think of it as just a summer essential. Think about every single storm that happens all during the year, not just those hurricanes we talk a lot about in Florida. We have a lot of thunderstorms, no matter where you are in the country. Tornadoes hit, you lose power. This happens no matter where you live in our country. This is going to be able to make sure that you're still able to power everything in your house, from your refrigerator to your devices, your phone, your tablets. Keep those kids busy during those times when you were just locked in the home with nothing else to do. This is it. Think about the fans. When you lose your AC, that fan is absolutely an essential. You can't do without your coffee. I know it, my friends. So look at what you're getting here. You have two different options with the Delta 3. You can get it as a standalone. Let's say you already have the solar panel and you just want to be able to get the Delta 3 to have even more opportunities to plug in. 13 different ways to plug in here. Do you see all the different ports? This is absolutely incredible in and of itself. But if you're looking and you are just starting in your journey to be able to stay powered up no matter what comes your way, you're going to want to be able to get the bundle. Reason being is you can't beat this value, okay? We're talking about being able to get the Delta 3 and also getting home this most important solar panel as well as the Wagon that's going to be able to get it to wherever you need it. If you're the kind of person who needs that additional power, let's say you go camping, you go fishing, and you want to be able to bring that power with you, this is not just an emergency essential. This is also for all the fun events that you have planned no matter where you are. If you are off the grid, it is also an absolute essential. So think about it from the perspective of what do you need this for? The solar panel I have. If I were to say I need this deal today, I would get another one of the Delta 3s. This is brand new. I have not gotten this myself, but I love that this comes with the bundle. And of course, you're getting all these cables that come with the Delta 3. It's the lowest price we've ever offered. I know a lot of our friends are saying to themselves, it's a considered purchase. I'm thinking about it, but do not think too long because, like I said earlier, this is a post sale, but today is the last day you're going to be able to cash in on it. Free shipping and handling, my friends. This is light, but it's not light when it comes to shipping. So you would normally pay about $30 to ship something like this. The savings there, again, absolutely incredible. Now, we do offer 5 Flex on either of these bundles, right? You were to buy the Delta 3 on its own, or if you were to get it with a solar panel on the Wagon. The greatest part is that 5 Flex allows you to divide that payment over 5 months. But we're going to do you one better because we absolutely know that a considered purchase can be especially difficult if you're trying to make this work in your budget. We offer VIP financing. Now, how do you get VIP financing? All you have to do is have the HSN credit card. We're going to talk about getting the HSN credit card if you don't already have it. But what this does for you, if you use the HSN credit card, is you can get the Delta 3 by itself. Oh, well, let's talk about this because you've just popped this up. Let's go ahead and talk about becoming an HSN card member, because a great little perk that we do for all of our brand new HSN card holders is that we give you $40 to spend. So yes, you can take $40 off this purchase, which is also an added value we love so much. But I did want to remind you with that VIP financing that if you were to get the Delta 3 on its own with that incredible value, we're going to allow you to get 12 months VIP financing if you're approved. And what that does is it splits that payment over 12 months. What that breaks the payment down to is absolutely incredible because you will only have to pay $43.33 per month interest-free if you pay it off in the year. That is incredible considering you're going to get it home, you're going to start using it, and if anything should happen, you do not have to worry about being without your power. You see all those incredible ports? We're talking about 13 different ways to plug in. Now, 600 only are remaining if you were just to buy the Delta 3 on its own. Now I'm going to talk about the bundle, because I really do think the value is in getting the solar panel and the Wagon as well as your Delta 3. Reason being is we're offering you 18 months VIP financing on the bundle that comes with the solar panel and the Wagon. So when you break that down over the 18 months, interest-free if you pay it off in 18 months, $34 and change to get it home and have the peace of mind that you will always be able to power your devices no matter what happens. Justin Hyatt, who I love because he's so knowledgeable in all the technology behind this device. He always pops up whenever we have a today's special. He's with us all day. It's kind of the hardest job because he's got to come in and explain it over and over again. But I love because he explains it in such an easy to understand way, how it's possible that each and every single time they are able to innovate and do better with each and every model from, of course, EcoFlow. So Justin Hyatt, it's nice to see your face coming to us live, of course, from St. Pete. How you doing, my friend?
About EcoFlow, and that's what we love to do, especially during this time, which is, you know, it's the hurricane season. This is the time that we want to be able to have these types of deals. So we think about why do we want EcoFlow, and you just talked about it, all the different things that can happen, the essential things that we need during the summer, all of the heat that we might be experiencing, and now, of course, we have our Delta 3. So when we think about all the different features that you might need when it comes to all of your EcoFlow, you know, models, the best part about this is that you're getting the Delta 3. You're getting that kind of Goldilocks size. It's going to be able to have all the things that you're looking for when it comes to under 30 pounds, be able to have all of the ports available to you, whether it's going to be the 13 different ports of your USB-C or your USB-A. You've got all of the different AC ports. So we've got 6 AC outlets right there. We'll show you it up close too. I love showing the videos, but ultimately I think seeing it actually in person is one of the best ways to show it. And then what it powers is all the things that we have inside of our home, which is our CPAP machines, our routers, our televisions, and all the different technology that we have inside of our home, from our televisions and all the things that we need for those moments of wanting to be able to just kind of stay entertained, right? I mean, it's those things that are the in-betweens, the things, but it's an emergency, yes, but what keeps our mind off of being out of power? And then as far as emergencies and off-grid, we need that open line of communication. Phones are great for all the fun stuff that phones do, but ultimately it comes down to communication. We think about Hurricane Sandy. One of the biggest things was being able to have that communication and that contact. So you'll certainly be able to charge all of those things, but ultimately, why do you want the Delta 3? Yeah, we can show you all the small electronics, but it's about being able to power up 99% of your home appliances. So that's your air fryers, that's your refrigerators, that's the microwave. So it's the difference between having cold food and hot food. And it's also about the simplicity, because as a whole, when it comes to EcoFlow, if it was hard, we wouldn't be using it as much. It's not just an emergency investment. This is all also for the entertainment, but it's also the peace of mind to know you have it, but it's easy to use, because one touch of a button, now I can power up my light and my fan. I can be powering up that microwave, that refrigerator. And this is something when you invest in, you're investing in that sweet spot. So yes, we have a lot of different models when it comes to our river models that are going to power about 80% of your home appliances. And then we have a lot that will power 99% and some that will power 90%. But we start to think about whole home power. Now we're talking about 100 and 120 pounds. This is under 28 pounds. This is going to still power nearly every single thing in your home, and you're going to have it for those emergencies, but the other 99% of the time you're going to have for all the fun stuff, which is what I love about the bundle that we made, Emily, because now you got the Wagon, because now you can take it portable, now you can take it to the pool, now you can take it anywhere you want, not just portable inside your home, but portable anywhere, and then you've also got that solar panel, the 160-watt solar panel. So yes, I'd love to say that this is endless power, which, yes, it kind of is. It's perpetual power because we can use the solar panel, but eventually this is going to run out of power. How are we going to recharge it if we still don't have power at home? That's why you want your solar panel, so you can now use the power of the sun to recharge your power station. And when we talk about the battery system inside of here, this is the next level. Obviously, it's the third iteration. So when we talk about that 5-year warranty that comes along with it, it's because it used to be a 2-year warranty. And the reason why it's a 5-year warranty is because this is that LFP battery system. LFP is the latest and greatest battery technology that exists in the market today. It's what all the electric vehicles use as well. And why have we switched to that? One, it's lighter weight, it charges faster, it's more powerful, and it lasts longer. And this is even going to last longer than our predecessor of our Delta 2, which had about 3,000 life cycles. We've added another 1,000 life cycles, meaning this is not just a 10-year investment, this is an 11-year investment at a minimum. And we covered nearly half of that with that 5-year warranty. And of course, we still have that amazing U.S. customer service as well that you'll be able to contact with any questions 24/7 as well.
Oh my goodness. And so I know you said it, but for our friends who might just be joining us now, tell us again, Justin, how many different devices can we plug into this thing and how long does it last? Because I think a lot of our friends always think to ourselves, yes, okay, so if I have it fully charged up, what can I power on for how long?
Yeah, well, so that's the nicest thing. You know, you don't have to be a mathematician. Whereas with a generator, when you use a generator and it says a half a tank, you're like, I have no idea what that means. If I'm just running a refrigerator, if I'm using my microwave, I don't know with a full tank of gas how long I can run all of these things for. So for instance, I've got my light and my fan connected right now, and it'll actually calculate on that LCD display. It'll tell me via the percentage and wattage, it'll actually equate it into time. So right here on your display, it'll tell you right now I've got about 18 hours that I can power up a light and a fan. So that's the amazing part about it when we talk about just simplicity of the usability aspect, but then also the information that it's going to give you. So with a light and a fan, now I know. And so now you can also start to prioritize, well, what's truly important to me, right? Because I think when we think of emergencies, food and water, and now we need to make sure that we keep that food and water cool, or the food especially. We don't want the food to spoil after we invested $300–400 in that food. Now you'll be able to see exactly how long you'll be able to run all those different devices for. It simplifies it, it keeps the guessing out of it, and allows you to really prioritize, okay, I definitely want a fan, I definitely want my refrigerator, all these different things. Now you'll actually have a time stamp that you can apply to all of those different devices as well.
I love that. Okay, so let's really quickly talk about what's more popular, because we have a certain amount of quantity left. And again, this is the only time today that you can go ahead and cash in on what is the best value for the specific bundles that we have to offer today. Of course, you can get the Delta 3 on its own for the most incredible value. We can also offer today at our TS pricing this incredible bundle that comes, of course, with the all popular solar panel and, of course, this awesome wagon to be able to cart your Delta 3 and all the pieces wherever you need it for all that summer fun. Now, I'm going to get really serious with you for a second, because the thing that a lot of our friends who shop with us know is that I have the funnest job ever, right? HSN, it's fun here. We love to say that all the time. But one of the things I always tell people is prior to joining HSN, I was an investigative reporter. I know that seems very serious and a little bit too scary. I left it because it is. It's a scary thing to see people in their worst moments. I've seen so many people who have lost power just in those storms, severe weather that happens every day. But I also worked up in Michigan. I worked up in Buffalo. I worked in Florida, in Orlando, where several hurricanes came through, even in Tampa when I was working for HSN. And I've seen so many stories of people who have lost loved ones because they were not prepared. And preparation, being prepared for the absolute worst, is what's key. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I do not have another electrical source should we lose power, today's the day where you can do the absolute best for you and your family by spending just a few $100s. And I always say to people, what would you have done? When I ask the questions of these people going through some of the most terrible things in their lives, what would you have done to be prepared if you had known? Well, they said there's no price you could pay to be able to have your loved ones be with you. So that being said, think about those big storms. And I'm not just saying the hurricanes that can shut you down or take your power away for days on end. I'm talking about those blizzards. If you live in the upper Midwest, if you live in the northern states that get those really big power storms shutting down the grids for quite some time, because we do know for a fact that most of the power outages that happen across our country happen during the winter months. You've been there. I know you have. I lived in a neighborhood where ice storms shut down our neighborhood for days on end, and we did not have the heat to be able to keep ourselves warm. And cold can be just as dangerous as heat. We're always checking on our loved ones that were elderly. So think about having that peace of mind. There is no price you can pay for peace of mind, but today we're offering you a deal. So this is why I say that. It sounds very serious, almost a little scary, but I don't like to let that opportunity pass me by when I can talk about the things that I've seen in my career and how you have an opportunity to do better. You have an opportunity to get ahead of it, and especially because the deal is so good. This is $900 worth of value. That in and of itself is truly a small price to pay for peace of mind. You're getting the solar panel, you're getting the Wagon, but today you're not paying $900. Today's the last day where you can go ahead and cash in and get this entire bundle with the solar panel, the Wagon, and the Delta 3, with, of course, the cables that come with, for that incredible price you see on your screen, $619.99. My friends, that is $280 off the price of the total value of getting that bundle. And that is why I know a lot of our friends are super savvy shoppers. They know exactly the pricing. They've been looking at this for years, saying, I need an EcoFlow in my life. And this is their day where they're saying, this is so good. The shipping and handling is free. I can get VIP financing, and you're right. If you cash in on the 18-month VIP financing on the bundle that comes with the solar panel and the Wagon, you are getting this home for $34 and change. Peace of mind in your home. You will just have to pay it off interest-free over time. But that is the benefit of shopping EcoFlow right here at HSN. Justin Hyatt, I love that he always tells us very real stories about how you can use this in your home. And I know I think I heard you using a microwave, which is really what a lot of our friends, when they start to lose power, they're like, I just need my microwave. I need to be able to cook that easy food for my kids, for myself. And that's one of the things you can power here and get you through some of those tough times. Am I right, Justin?
Well, without a doubt, we invest in all of this food, and whether it's a deep freezer or a secondary refrigerator or our primary refrigerator, and maybe we're not necessarily preparing for an emergency. We just have a stocked full of food refrigerator. And it's those Murphy Law moments where we then went to the refrigerator. Of course, we saw we didn't have a lot of food. We went to the grocery store, we spent a bunch of money, filled it up, and that's when we lose power. And I always said, the best time to lose power is never. It's never a good time or a great time to lose power. And so how do we get prepared? And then, as you said, yeah, it's nice to have cold food, but eventually we want to have warm food. Now that you're up in PA, you're thinking, how do I stay warm? Right now here in Florida, we're like, how do we get cool? You adapt to the different places that you live, but no matter where you live in the world and even in this country, you have to adapt to the different weather events that you experience. And there's that moment of vulnerability that we feel where we don't have power, and who do we rely on? And that's what's made EcoFlow the #1 go-to power brand here at HSN, the #1 power station brand in the United States, and now we're global in over 140 different countries with nearly 5 million customers and growing daily. And why? Because no matter where you are, even in the country, let alone the world, we all need the same thing. We need electricity, and so does our food and our water. So it's nice to know that if we want to have a hot meal, I can come over here right inside of my home without even having to go outside to run a generator, to run any type of other power source, it's gas or propane, and I can be running this right here inside my home. So now whether it's a microwave or an air fryer or an induction burner or a pressure cooker or all of the different appliances that you picked up probably here at HSN, how are you going to use all of those different appliances? And this is something that you're going to have for a very long time. So we're not just talking summer, we're talking now winter and the winters after, not just this winter, for 10, 11, 15 years that you're going to have this. So what's going to happen to keep yourself warm? I love, Emily, that you can be able to cook food or warm a baby's milk or have hot soup, because that's one of the best ways to actually warm yourself up. But remember, think about what we're doing right now, as you were just talking about. And all the different things that maybe were never possible before, we're able to have a power source inside of our home that doesn't need to be 20 feet away, that doesn't need to be running off of gas or propane. So your apartments and condos, if you live in any of those types of homes, now you can actually have that power source, whereas you haven't had that option. So that's what I love about EcoFlow, is that we give you the ability to not just eliminate the anxiety or vulnerability, but have the independence and confidence that you want, because we know it's the ifs and the whens. We don't know when the power is going to go out, but we also don't know when the power is going to come back on. And so what do you do in those moments? Now you've got EcoFlow, and so many people have been obviously picking and choosing EcoFlow, hence why we're #1, but it's because it's easy and it's simple and it's safe. There is no intimidation factor involved, and we even have that extra battery. So one of the great things that EcoFlow does is we create an ecosystem, something that can actually grow with you. And this extra battery will now double the amount of time that you can run any of your appliances, whether it's a microwave or an air fryer or a coffee maker, as you were talking about. We talk about necessities. Some of us say coffee is a necessity. And so now you can actually have the extra battery available too. And I know that those are very limited. So if you want to get the extra battery, I always recommend this, Emily, because it doubles your time, but it doesn't double your cost. So with all the value that you're saving, so many people get the bundle and they also pick up the extra battery. Me as a user of EcoFlow for almost 7-10 years, I always have my extra batteries charged up.
I'm so glad you mentioned the extra battery, Justin, because that is so key. And I love that you have it. I think I'm going to have to get it because, again, today's the day. We have an amazing deal to be able to get this home for you. We love that you want that extra storage of energy. If that's the case, guess what? We also offer VIP financing for the battery as well. So check this out. 12 months VIP financing to get the battery home. And I love how he has it stacked up in front of him because that's what you're going to do. It takes up very little real estate when it comes to being able to compare it, of course, to the traditional generators that are out there. So again, the Delta 3 extra battery, as you see, oh, we lost the graphic. Can we pop that back up again? I just wanted to walk them through it really quickly. But item number 893627, there it is. It is on sale today, so make sure you're grabbing it while you can. And again, on the VIP financing, 12 months to pay it off, no interest if you get it paid off within the year, $37.49 to get it home. That is perhaps the best deal we've offered on the extra batteries. So I want to reiterate what Justin had mentioned about traditional generators versus the EcoFlow, because if you haven't gotten yourself a power source like the EcoFlow or a generator before because you were scared, because there's so many things you hear about traditional generators out there, the use of the gasoline. Justin talked about the distance you need to have it from your house because of those dangerous fumes. And I talk about my time in news because I've heard many horror stories about people using generators inappropriately. And when I talk about generators, I'm talking about fuel-driven generators. And you have that exhaust in the home, it is deadly. A lot of our friends, they stay clear of getting this additional power because they say there's no other options for them out there. This is the option. EcoFlow can be used inside your house no matter where you need it, but also it can be used elsewhere, no matter where it is that you're going to be. If you're camping and you need extra power, if you're a fisherman and you're going to be out on a boat, you can use it on your boat. I mean, just don't drop it in the water. It might sink right to the bottom. But I'm telling you right now, this is going to be your opportunity to literally have sky's the limit. You can go anywhere with this device. It is so compact and easy to transport. It has these handles on the side that allow you to lift it up easily. And of course today, because of the bundle, not only we are offering that amazing solar panel that's going to keep your EcoFlow charged at any given time using the power of the sun and not fuel, you are going to also get in that bundle this incredible Wagon. Now, we've offered EcoFlows before, right? We've had ways to transport them. We've had dollies in the past. I love this Wagon because when you're not using it for your EcoFlow, it's like you're getting the bonus of being able to have also an amazing Wagon, really well constructed. So good for all the things that you want to transport for the summer. So it's like perfectly timed because, again, you might have this set up or put away when you're not using it, but you can use this Wagon anytime. And I can speak because I've purchased a Wagon here at HSN before. The value on this is just over $100 to be able to get a Wagon of this size and, of course, amazing construction. It's strong because it has to hold your Delta 3 and, of course, all the add-ons like the solar panel and your wires and anything else you might want to take with you if you're going out on that camping trip, right? Your coffee maker, all the essentials. And I really do want to speak to, of course, the fact that ease of use. There's a reason why every single host here at HSN has an EcoFlow. It's not just because we get a discount. Yes, of course, we shop here as well because we work here, we're employees, but I'm not speaking to that. I'm speaking to the fact that we all have been in that situation where we've lost power. We know somebody who's lost power. We talk about it on a near daily basis about losing power, the things that happen to you, the amount of money that you lose in the food that spoils because you can't plug your refrigerator in. I have a deep freezer that I worry about all the time because I'm like, that is a lot of money. I stock up because the sales are great on the food, and then all of a sudden you're like, I didn't get an EcoFlow or a generator, so now what do? I've lost all that food over 7 days of power outages. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So always think about how much you would spend for that kind of peace of mind, and that's why I know a lot of our friends are getting in on this deal, especially being able to get it home on VIP financing, this entire bundle, for $34 and some change. I did want to reiterate, because a lot of our friends might be joining us. Welcome in. We're so excited to be able to talk to you about one of my favorite brands and products here at HSN. It's about 3:30 here on the East Coast. Our friends on the West Coast, about 12:30. And I will say everywhere in between, this applies to you. Everywhere across our nation, and EcoFlow is an absolute essential. We're offering it to you, this incredible bundle, just in time for summer, because again, we know there are severe weather storms that knock out our power, especially in the summer. That's what we know about the summer, but severe weather hits all times of year, no matter where you live. So we know that this can work for anybody, no matter where you are. You don't have to be just in Florida where the hurricanes hit, or Louisiana. Think about right down the middle of our nation, where tornadoes hit and knock out power lines all the time. Think about our friends in the Midwest, upper Northeast, all those big snowstorms. This is going to help you. Let's talk about what this can power. We have a very nice graphic that explains exactly what the EcoFlow can help you with. I know you don't always think about all these things, so we wanted to make sure we put it in front of you so that you know the value that you're getting. All right, what it powers. Home backup. That's a really big deal. So think about all the things that you use. A CPAP machine is an essential. Your router to stay connected, your TV, your refrigerator, an electric heater. My friends, I talk about the winter months as the most common times to lose power. You don't think about it that way, but your coffee maker, we all need our coffee. Hair dryer, your washing machine. Try to lose power so you can't do your wash. It is terrible. I'll tell you, I have a family of 4. Between my 16-year-old son, my 11-year-old daughter, my husband, me, and of course our dirty dogs. We have a lot to wash on a daily basis. Don't let it pile up when you lose power. This will power your washing machine. So 089765 is the item number to be able to get in on this deal. I talked about what it powers in terms of the home backup system, but really, truly, in an emergency, what is the most important thing you can think of? Communication. Being able to stay connected in case something else should happen. We've already lost that power, but if you need to reach out to somebody in your family has a medical emergency during that time, it's always Murphy's Law, as we were hearing from Justin. He said it just moments ago. Things compound, you're not prepared. This will allow you to stay connected, your phone's charged up, your tablets, your computers. Stay on top of course, those news alerts to let you know what kind of additional severe weather is headed your way. How do you do that if you don't have power? That's why this is priceless. It's not just a bargain. It's priceless. And again, we just have to remind our friends that this deal is only good for this time period only. It was our TS. We were able to extend it because we realized how important this is during the summer months. And now we're able to offer it to you for just a couple more hours. It will return back to that incredible price it originally was, but it is not going to be as good as it is right now. $619.99. I know, my friends, for all of this. Justin, I know you sell EcoFlow. You have seen all the prices that we have divvied out over the years to be able to get home this kind of peace of mind. And I know you are standing there going, this is the best that it's ever been.
Well, it is, and I think we're actually being fairly generous when we even show our regular retail price, because the Wagon itself is $160. The solar panel by itself is $450, and as you mentioned too, the shipping is also included. I mean, if you start to add it all up, plus of course, obviously the power station. So yes, I mean, what we really wanted to focus on, especially this month, of course, we can talk about hurricanes all we want here, and it's not that long ago that we were talking about it just last year, because still people even today are affected by it. But ultimately, it's about getting the whole entire kit and caboodle. And you know what's really great about this bundle? You can't find it anywhere else. It's one of the greatest things that we've done over these 7 years, is has not just exclusivity on just value, but the bundles that we put together. The Wagon we've never done before. I love the Wagon. I get excited about it because I like to see different things like this. This is the fun stuff that I love because it's something that you're going to be using all the time. You know, whether it's for groceries or going to the pool or going to the beach, and the way that it folds up, the construction on it, we could do a presentation alone on the Wagon itself. And I love, of course, that we then include the 160-watt solar panel. Everything that you need, you have. But you know what? This is truly about what you do need, which is power. And ultimately, for everybody who wants to stay independent, doesn't want to feel vulnerable, there are a lot of things that we can get and we can invest in. But you know what? Not a lot of things that you can invest in right now in your life that is going to be for emergencies and for fun stuff. And if I was to do a game of this and that right now, and you were to look at this generator and you'd say, well, that's not for me, but EcoFlow is. That's why the simplicity aspect of eliminating not just the vulnerability, but of course the anxiety of, I've never used a generator. So do you know what the worst time to use it would be? When you are out of power, right? We don't want to sit and rely simply and only on a generator. And look, I say this every single time. We love being able to have them, but you know what? This right here maybe has a 1-year warranty, whereas with our EcoFlow, you've got a 5-year warranty. And I want to talk about that really quickly because I skipped over it a little bit. And I want to go back to it. But one of the biggest things about this is the brand new battery technology. You know, and this is the 3rd iteration. So what does that mean? We have something called LFP batteries. This is the 4th generation when it comes to our LFP battery, hence why you've got that 5-year warranty. And I'll explain what's really amazing about that because I've been presenting electronics for a long time. Televisions probably give you maybe 1 or 2 year warranty. You get a 5-year warranty on this. So when you think of life cycles on a battery, some of you are saying, I have no idea what he's talking about. On a phone, for instance, if you've ever said, why does my phone feel like it just doesn't hold the charge that it used to? Well, it's because all batteries, not just limited power stations, all batteries are limited on life cycles. So every single time your battery dies, it then needs to be recharged. Well, be able to recharge it, that's a life cycle. So you can go ahead and do that for 11 years straight. And then, you know what's great? Even if you don't understand anything I'm saying right now, you have amazing support dedicated specifically for you. So if I mention something and then you get it at home, you say, what did that guy say? We have that US-based customer support literally dedicated to you. So you get it at home, you've got questions, you can contact them, and we'll be able to answer all of those questions that you might have. You know, the greatest thing about that too is you can hop on YouTube, you can hop on Facebook, any forum or article that you want to find all talks about EcoFlow, not only just being #1, but ultimately for the campers, for the glampers, for everybody. And I love that we are able to do it, especially for our customers, because any of the women out there right now who have felt like, look, I may have a generator at home, and this is a true story for me. I've got my aunt who said, look, we have a generator at home, but if your uncle's not here, I'm never going to touch it. And I believe most women feel that way. If you don't feel comfortable to pop the hood of your car, you want something easy and simple, then you're going to want to really gear yourself towards having an EcoFlow at home, because you don't know. It is the ifs and whens, but now you got a power station that's going to be there for you for the fun stuff, but ultimately also for the emergencies.
I love that you mentioned that, because I can speak to that specifically. When we first moved to Florida, Justin, one of the biggest things was we were told, they're like, emergency preparedness, emergency preparedness. They're like, you got to get a generator. So what did we do? We went right to a big box store and we purchased a generator. We didn't use it for a full year. It was so expensive. And then what I found out was that if you don't start that generator, you keep it in the box, they won't even take it back after a year, because they know that it could potentially not even work if you've just kept it in the box and never run that engine. That is the risk you take buying a generator. And that is not going to help you in case the worst should happen. This is my personal experience that I'm telling you about. But I also could never have gotten that generator home. It was so heavy on my own. It was my husband and me and my oldest all trying to lift that thing. It was so heavy. And it doesn't come with a handy dandy wagon. There was nothing I could use except for an industrial dolly to get it from our car to the garage, where it stayed for a full year. An EcoFlow, you will not just use for those emergencies, you're going to use it for all the fun things too. And that truly is value compounded over time, because you would let a generator sit because you're just like, I will only use that for emergencies. It takes fuel. Fuel is expensive. This powers, in a pinch, with the power of the sun, which comes to you free of charge. As far as I'm told recently, it's free. You plug in and it will charge your EcoFlow. Again, you can get that extra battery and you get double the amount of charge time. That is incredible. And again, you're getting this fun but utilitarian Wagon edition in the bundle that you're offered today at that incredible post-TS price. Our today's specials are incredible. It's because we have partnerships with incredible brands like EcoFlow. Do not be without an EcoFlow. Take it from the hosts who have and own their own EcoFlows. This is an essential. And you know what the conversation is, Justin, for a lot of our hosts, is we talk a lot about when and where we can buy our next EcoFlow to add to our collection, because you said it earlier. It becomes a collectible in that you say, I never want to be able to say that I run out of spaces, because 13 is a lot. But we also are in a digital world where you want to say, hey, I can use a couple more plugins. Why not? Why not when I can, when the getting is this good? Because again, you can't get this price anywhere else at this incredible price with the bundle, with the solar panel, and of course that incredible Wagon. But for a lot of our friends who might already have that incredible solar panel, and they maybe have the dolly from the last time we offered this, getting the Delta 3 home as an additional powering device is a no-brainer. So a lot of us are all getting that incredible opportunity to just get the Delta 3 home because of how good it is. Can we talk about that? Being able to say that we're getting one of the greatest devices out on the market right now for an incredible value. I know you yourself, you say it and you scream it from the rooftops, but it's because you have so much expertise in being able to present it time after time that you know when you're getting a great deal.
Yeah, well, and I love what you were just talking about as well. There's a reason why we give options, right? Whether it's the bundle or the standalone, because a lot of times when you get an EcoFlow, I always talk about, when you ever got your air fryer and everybody said, you've never had an air fryer, you need to get an air fryer. That's what it's been with EcoFlow. When you get an EcoFlow at home and then you realize just the overall just amazing quality, not just the product, but the quality of life that you have, knowing that you have it at home, but then you need to start to prioritize. You might say, well, life changes, and now I need another one because I want one upstairs, I want one downstairs. I want one that's maybe a little bit lighter, I want one that's a little bit more powerful, one that's a little bit larger to power the whole entire home. So I love when we talk about even just the great value there, but let's talk about just, the usability again, because I think that's one of the best value parts of this is that, everything you need is right here. There's no guessing. So from even turning on the unit itself to using and plugging it in, as you said, I love it because when you look at the model, by the way, this is a brand new model. This is something that when it comes to the actual form factor and design is brand new to us. You've got all of your outlets on the very front so that you can plug in all of your different devices, up to 13. The display is brand new, so it's easy to read and see all the different information. The outlets that are on the back is how you're going to recharge it. So we always talk about different options, but options is exactly what we want. Guy always talked about, I want a boat with 2 engines. I want a plane with 2 engines. Why? Because you never know. We want to be able to have those different options for when one engine goes. You need to have options. So I love what we've done, especially when powering this up and recharging it, is you can now recharge this via the sun, which is why we include the solar panel. And as you said, sun has not monetized its energy just yet. Now you can do it for free. It's not having to have that residual payment every single time. And gas can go bad. And when you store gas inside of your generator, which you're not supposed to, it can ruin your generator. All those different things we can talk about. But then being able to recharge it even from a generator if you have one, or plugging it into your car while you're going on any of these road trips, these summer road trips. But having that solar panel is one of the greatest feelings ever, because when you get your power station at home, first thing I want you to do is take that power station out in the sun, bring the solar panel out there, plug it in, because I want you to see just how amazing of an experience this is. Because look, let's be honest, we've been doing TV shopping for a long time. Never thought maybe you'd be buying a power station with a solar panel, or having a solar generator, or even having a solar panel in general. But now you can. This is meant to be user-friendly. It's meant for us regular people and consumers. And talking about that, the usability aspect of what we were just talking about. One touch of a button, that's it. Just one touch of a button. There's no pull crank, there's no gas, there's no maintenance, there's nothing involved. And now all I need to do is press that one touch of a button just like that. And now I've got my display on. It'll tell me everything I need. And then I press this button right here. It's going to power up all my AC outlets. And now I can be able to connect it right here to my CPAP machine. And my CPAP machine is going to tell me exactly how long I can run all of that for. It's telling me right now roughly about 14.5 hours on my CPAP machine. So let's talk about medical devices. We've got oxygen machines, CPAP machines, dialysis machines. You talk about just overall consumer, usability, but these are your stories. These aren't mine. These are yours. These are what we read in the reviews. These are all the different reviews that we get day in and day out on not just, on hsn.com, but all the people who call in and tell us their story, Emily. That's what we love, because everybody has their story. Everybody is different, but everybody's all similar in the fact that we need what? We need power, and now finally we have a way to have power at home and have that independence with EcoFlow.
It's so priceless. I love everything you just said, Justin, because one thing kind of triggered in me, and I will never forget this, because a lot of people always think, oh, generators, you have them for, storms, you have them for thunderstorms in the south. Right? A lot of people think that. But one of the things I said earlier at the top of our presentation, the beginning of this hour, is that you can't think of this as just an investment for the summer severe weather, because a lot of those storms, especially the ones that are extremely hard on the power grids, no matter where you are, they're winter storms. And I lived in Buffalo. I lived in Upper Michigan for several years. The one thing that you end up being told is that you want to increase the value in your home, get yourself a dedicated generator that attaches to your home. It was great while I lived there, but what happened? I moved away from there and I left that attached to my home. And I'm wondering sometimes, did it really give me the value that I wanted? Because again, a generator that runs on fuel needed to be maintained all the time. There were times when, in a pinch, it wasn't working because I lapsed on my maintenance for that generator. Not with an EcoFlow. I never worried about the fuel. Was there enough fuel running to that thing? How much charge left? The greatest thing, and you can't see it here because this one isn't fully charged up, but I'm just showing you what it looks like. But on this screen, as you saw from Justin's, it will pop up to tell you how much charge left is on here. And what will happen is once we get to a point where I say, you know what, this could use a little bit more juice. If I were not able to plug it in because we've lost our power, I can hook it right up, if you have that incredible bundle that we're offering today, to the solar panel and absorb the energy direct from the sun. You cannot say that when, for one, we've had this happen in the past, our gas stations are out of gas. Or our gas stations are offering a premium because they are losing the amount of quantities they have available to give you for your generator, your gas power generator, or your propane power generator. With this, especially this incredible bundle that we're offering today, you're getting the most incredible value on something that is valued at almost $900. That's a Delta 3, and I'm going to walk on over here, and what comes with that bundle, this incredible 160 watt solar panel that's going to power the Delta 3, and of course this fun wagon that's going to get your Delta 3, your solar panel, and all the charging cables where you need to go. And again, there's so much room to spare. You can literally pack this with anything else you might need for your fun adventures. That's how good this bundle is. My friends, I need to talk numbers with you really quickly, because some of you might just have joined us in the past few minutes and you're saying, yes, for one, I need the power. I definitely need a power device in my home in case anything should go wrong, and you've been waiting on it and you're seeing this price. Let me explain it to you. There were 8,200 of these devices in the bundle available to you. We now have, how many do we have? We only have 600 in the Delta 3 on its own. So we do offer the Delta 3 on its own to be able to power your devices. Now, we have it with a bundle. The bundle is truly the best investment, the best value that we are offering today, because you are getting, of course, the solar panel, which you heard Justin say is about $400 on its own. And you're getting the wagon, which he also said was about $160 on its own. And then you're getting the Delta 3, which is priceless, truly, when we really break it down for all the things that it does. Now, $899.99. That's the conservative, if you purchased all these things separately, price that we like to give you perspective on what the deal is today. We are taking $280 off the price of that bundle, and we're offering it to you for the price that you see on your screen. But we know that it's a considered purchase. We know that being able to pay it off right away might not work for every budget. We are going to be able to offer you today, and a lot of our friends already heard this who were tuned in earlier, but we want to reiterate this because it's truly an amazing offer that we offer here at HSN, is that if you have the HSN credit card, or want to apply for it, please do not now, because not only are we giving you $40 to spend towards any purchase, we are also offering, when you use your HSN credit card, VIP financing. And what that means is you will not pay interest if you pay it in full. Now, if you're going to get home the Delta 3 just by itself, without the solar panel bundle, 12 months VIP financing, you can get this whole amazing powering station for just about $40-something. And I have the exact number. I'm just looking through my cards really quickly. 43 and some change to be able to get home the Delta 3. Now, let me tell you, we are offering 18 months VIP financing on the solar panel, Wagon, and Delta 3 bundle, where we are taking $280 off the price and dividing that payment up over 18 months, interest-free if paid off in full with the HSN credit card. It is $34 and change to be able to take home this peace of mind. Priceless. Priceless when you think that there are people out there who have lost quite a bit of money when they lose power. Now, I'm not just talking about the people who have lost power because of their food, but they have lost considerable amount of time. They couldn't work through storms because they didn't have access to their laptops. You have to wait days upon days to get back to your new normal. That is money spent. That is your life on hold, but never again. And that's why a lot of our hosts who used to live in St. Pete and now live up here in Pennsylvania have been able to bring their EcoFlows with them, knowing that this is something that plagues everyone in the country. No matter where you live, severe weather will tax the grid, the power grid I'm talking about specifically, and leave you high and dry for several days, but not today. Price goes up today. Now, when I say that, I say this is only available for the next few hours. This is the last day we were able to offer that post-sale, today's special pricing. So please, please, please do not wait on this offer. Again, we are very limited in quantities at this point. We still have some available if you want to buy it just as the Delta 3, or if you want to get in on the amazing value of having also this incredible solar panel, such a strong ability to charge your amazing device, but also you're getting this incredible Wagon, which is valued at $160 on its own. That's why Justin and I can't say enough, truly, about why this is a necessity in your life. I mean, I talk about a lot my experience seeing people lose power. I've worked in news for over 20 years, telling people stories on their absolute worst day, and a lot of that happens to be because of severe weather. And losing power is scary, especially if you have medical devices that need to be powered. Now you don't have to worry about that. Think about your loved ones. Think about the things that they need powered too, because what an incredible gift to give, especially when the getting is this good. Justin, I really do think, I hope we've reached a lot of people and letting them know that this is the best deal that we have ever offered in a long, long time.
It really is. And look, I'll even go back to the basics of, we offer a lot of different options. A great thing, because we all have different, priorities. We're all very different in our needs. So we all need power, okay, great, but we have our River line, which is geared very much towards portability. We have got our Delta line, which can be very geared towards full home backup power. Now, what about right in the middle that marries the portability and the power? That's what the Delta 3 is. When we first launched, we had our Delta 1300, and for years, it was our go-to #1 best-selling power station. This is the third generation of that. Now, we've been doing this for 7 years, still the leader, but it gets better and better. It doesn't just look better, it is better. And the reason why it's better is because the battery technology that ultimately is inside of this power station. I talked about the different battery system inside of here. It's not lithium ion anymore, it's what we call LFP, or LiFePO battery. This is not going to last you a few years, whereas originally our lithium ion power stations would have about 300 life cycles. We added a 0 to it to 3,000, but that was with our Delta 2. With our Delta 3, it's 4,000 life cycles. That means you'd have to deplete this and recharge it once a day, every single day, for 11 years straight, in order for this to only charge from 0 to 80%. So when we talk about investing, you're investing in something that's not going to just be around for a couple years. It's going to be around for, at a minimum, 11 years, and it will still charge from 0 to 80%. So a massive investment. And you had talked about this because I think this speaks volumes to a lot of people. We think about investing in backup power. For a lot of people still don't understand that something like this exists. I'm reminded about this all the time, not on just every single presentation, but even when I go to a football game and I'm tailgating, if somebody stops and says, "What is that?" and being able to talk about it, because that's what this is about. This is a true educational opportunity. That's why we love being able to do it now. But you talked about it as well. When we think about generators, you invest in one of these, and then maybe it's reactionary or proactive, but it sits and it waits as an insurance policy for something bad to happen. But you know what your EcoFlow doesn't do? It doesn't sit and wait. But the other thing is, when you look at this, a lot of things can go wrong. And for me, a lot of things did go wrong. I'm not anti-gasoline or propane generators. We, EcoFlow, offer actually propane and gas generators. We're not anti. We're pro alternatives and options. My pull crank doesn't work. You know when I found that out? At the worst time, getting ready for the hurricane. Now, not only did the pull crank not work, the battery's dead on this. So I couldn't start it electronically with the push button. I couldn't pull crank it. And you know what ended up happening with this? It sat under 3 feet of water. It'll never be used again. It's complete garbage, except for being able to use it as an opportunity to talk about these things with everybody. And then this right here is a commodity. I can talk about gas, but even the gas cans are a commodity. We think about all these things. You can be reactionary or you can be proactive, Emily. What we love is taking these moments in time to be proactive and to do it now, because I say it every single time. The best time to get prepared is always today.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I completely forgot about that, Justin. How many times have we been stuck in a situation where we've lost power and we're going and running to the store or the gas station trying to buy the red can to fill it with gas, and they've sold out of the red can. And you're just like, well, what do I do now? What do I do? And don't ever put yourself in that situation again. Because again, we joke about it, we laugh about it now because again, we're not in that situation, but it could be tomorrow. It could be weeks from now. It could be months from now. That's the thing about us just speculating about the time frame, is because you just don't know when those situations will happen. And so we always talk about being able to have insurance policies, things that are going to protect us in case something goes wrong. This is the absolute best insurance policy because you're paying this one-time fee and you're going to have this for years to come. And the one thing we know for sure, especially when we look at that list of named storms, is that there are going to be storms. We just don't know when they're coming. So if you have this now, just at the start of hurricane season, what a crazy investment this is and something that you know is eventually going to be happening. It might not be a bad year. Let's all cross fingers. That's what we want, right? We're praying for a really easy hurricane season, a not so bad tornado season, an easy blizzard season. We all want that, but we can't guarantee those things. There's just no way. The one thing you can guarantee is having what you need to deal with the repercussions of those storms. So my friends, the one thing I tell people right now is not only do you have just a couple more hours to get in on this today's special post-sale pricing, but you're also getting in on a deal to get home your charging device, right? This ability to have a power station at your disposal months before hurricane season gets the most severe. We all know this. Fall, September through October. I say this with all assurance because I worked in news for many years and I worked with some amazing meteorologists. And they always say, do not get lackadaisical when we get to the end of the summer, because that churning ocean and all those little things that pour into the soup that ends up making the hurricanes is most active in September through October. And sometimes it even extends past that time. And then what happens after October? We have the winter months. And a lot of our friends who live in those southern states who take it easy because they think, oh no, it couldn't possibly bother us in the winter seasons. I have family who live in Texas, and we all remember what happened in Texas just a few years ago. Power outages, insane cold that they didn't think happened in the southern states. Texas was hit hard and they didn't have the power they needed when those power grids were shut down for quite some time. So yes, The EcoFlow is amazing. You can take it to your tailgates. I know we're just in the beginning of the football season as we head into the preseason. But now you can have this for all the fun, the camping, the outings, the getaways. I think about all the glamping I want to do with my friends, but not be too rustic and too outdoors. I want to be able to have my power so I can charge my phone just in case I need to get in touch with somebody. This is good for that too. But it is extremely good and extremely priceless when it comes to those emergency situations. So as we get our emergency kits ready, right? A lot of us in Florida already know what that means. This is an essential, but I also tell my friends, make sure you have an emergency kit, even if you live in the upper Midwest, even if you live in California, if you live in Buffalo, New York with all my friends. How you doing? I know they always tune in. You're so great. This is so good. Again, I left my plugged-in generator that was attached to my house up in Buffalo. I couldn't take it down to Florida where I needed it, but I didn't have to worry about that because now I have an EcoFlow. And that EcoFlow came with me from St. Pete, Florida, when I moved up here to Pennsylvania. And that is an amazing feeling because, again, I only paid the one-time price of purchasing the EcoFlow, and I have that peace of mind with me no matter where I go. And I love, 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 of course, that they stand by their warranty. Again, 5 years. You can't get that for a lot of technology because a lot of technology, what happens? It expires over time. It's just because better versions come out, so they give you warranties. This is a 5-year warranty, not a 1-year warranty. And as we heard from Justin, he explained it so well. This is an absolute must. Now, we only have about 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this hour, and I did want to toss it back to Justin really quickly to be able to talk to him about why we can really rest assured this is going to be your new best friend in all the things, from, of course, fun to those emergencies. Justin, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you. And look, Emily, the greatest thing is that, if you feel vulnerable and you don't have somebody there to, maybe you can't be there for somebody, we have turned to EcoFlow. And I love that we get to present this and talk about it, but ultimately get to talk about the #1 brand that does it. So you get to be able to invest in the best. And right now, the Delta 3 is the best option, I believe, for everybody who's watching right now. Because if you've been on the, kind of on the fence of saying, I'm not sure if this one's right for me, it doesn't power enough, or maybe it's too big. This one is the perfect size. We talk about Goldilocks, and I get it, it's cliche, but really that perfect size right in the middle that's going to be great for every single person who's watching, and it can grow with you, and you get everything you need. You get the Wagon for extra portability, and you get the solar panel, because at some point in time, this is not the never-ending gobstopper of energy. You're going to want to be able to use your solar panel to be able to recharge this anywhere, camping, glamping, or even just at home on the balcony.
I love it. Justin Hyatt, thank you so much. Your expertise is next level. Thank you so much for always walking us through what it seems complicated, but again, super duper easy for everyone to use. It has been a pleasure. Our hour has flown by. 089765 is the item number, of course, for the bundle or the EcoFlow on its own. Make sure you're getting in on this deal before that pricing expires at midnight. I had a really good time with you. This is really important to me to be able to inform you on what's available, especially at great prices like this. So I'm Emily Lampa. Make sure you follow me on social media, Emily Lampa HSN, on all social media platforms from TikTok to Instagram. I'm going to take a break, but guess who's up next? One of my good friends here at HSN. I love her to death. Su Ming Wong is up next, and she has our today's special.